Hey guys, this video is not going to be, the usual type of video. It's not like a video essay or anything like that. I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts here because I recently watched Justice League, the 2017 film, directed by Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon. I say Joss Whedon because, honestly, he only had like a writing credit, but he did a fair amount of shooting and directing. So I saw the movie, and as an honest fan, from the beginning, I wanted Justice League to be good. I had this kind of feeling that it wasn't gonna be good, but I always, held on to hope, because, I didn't like, Batman v Superman, and I thought Man of Steel was okay. I just thought it was like, okay, I respect it. It was, Zack Snyder's vision, but I loved Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was good. It's a little overrated, but it is a good movie. So I was excited to see Justice League. And it's a bit of a mess of a movie, honestly. The thing that it did really well is that it united the League, and their interactions were great to watch. But other than that, the plot was not good, and the movie's just plagued with reshoots. And I don't blame Joss Whedon. I blame Warner Brothers, even though most of it was Zack Snyder's movie. 30 minutes must be missing from Zack Snyder's movie. Steppenwolf is a terrible villain, and the thing is that in Zack Snyder's cut, supposedly he had a backstory. Like, he didn't just serve Darkseid because he wanted to serve Darkseid. Like, in the movie he says, "Oh, for Darkseid," at some point, and it's like, okay, alright, but then, supposedly in Zack Snyder's cut, he just conquered worlds for Darkseid because he was kind of working his way to freedom, or something like that, and it kind of sucks that was cut. There's a lot of scenes that were cut. You can even see the trailers, and there's like a bunch of stuff that was cut. I personally think Batman v Superman is a better movie than Justice League. I actually do. I feel it's more cohesive. I feel like tonally it's better. And I think that anyone that says that Batman v Superman is a worse movie than Justice League needs to rewatch it. Because at least in Batman v Superman, it's still tonally consistent. And it has a lack of comedy, but, comedy doesn't make a movie good, just like the lack of comedy also doesn't make a movie good necessarily. Thor Ragnarok is a fantastic movie, save for its mediocre villain, but, it had a lot of comedy. But that doesn't mean the movie's, bad because it had a lot of comedy. We have Man of Steel. The movie was alright, but it wasn't terrible because it had no comedy, Its tone is kind of kept very grounded. But again, I wanted Justice League to be good. As a fan of, DC Comics since I was little, my first two comic books were Superman and Batman comic books, given to me by my dad, and then after that I grew up with the Justice League shows, with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And after that I bought all the DC animated movies up until Flashpoint. It started with Superman Doomsday. And I've always wanted to see, Superman portrayed right. The entire finale was shot by Joss Whedon. So if you actually like the Superman at the end like I did, that's Joss Whedon. Also, Joss Whedon didn't do a terrible job. In the beginning of the movie, he shot the entire scene where Batman was fighting the Parademon. I thought that was great. Right up until, we meet Barry Allen, whose scene is just plagued with expository detail. The movie just is fine. And then after that, it goes downhill for me. I thought Barry Allen was not good. Ezra Miller did not do a good job as Barry Allen. Ezra Miller did a good job with what he was given, but the writing for Barry Allen is awful. And I've heard people say that, what are you talking about? This is exactly like Barry from the comics. No, it's not. It's not. What are you reading? Barry Allen can be a bit of a goofball, but at points, he can get serious, and he's confident. He can be awkward, but it's usually just in weird situations, If it's a romantic situation, he's always, flustered, but usually he's confident. And in Justice League, we get, a 15-year-old in a man's body. It doesn't suit the character at all. It feels like they were trying to aim for Spider-Man. It feels more like Spider-Man, but even Spider-Man's funny. Flash was not funny in this movie. And if you actually laughed at a Flash joke... I don't know, man. That brunch joke really killed me. It just killed the movie. After that brunch joke, I was really disappointed. And you could also really see the reshoots in Joss Whedon's cut. There's a scene with Aquaman and Bruce Wayne kind of talking, and there's a clip on YouTube of it. And in the comments, there's people that say, "Oh, this isn't a reshoot. Remember, they were shot on location. This was shot on location. What are you talking about? This is not a reshoot. It just looks like that. It's a reshoot, That's what I call a fanatic. It's obviously a reshoot." And there were some reshoots that kind of helped the movie, and there were some that just didn't really work. I think that Superman returning at the end and even actually saving people for once at the end of Justice League was great. I thought it was good. I thought his introduction was really cheesy, but that's Superman to me. I mean, when he says, I believe in truth, but I also believe in justice, or something like that. And I thought that was really corny, but it reminded me of the Justice League cartoons, and I'm like, yeah, that's my Superman. And he was still serious in the movie, but he says some corny things, but that's Superman, at least to me. That's always been Superman, like the Boy Scout kind of character. But he has been serious and he has been dark in the past, obviously. He's got like a bunch of issues that he's been like super dark. But I always wanted to see that positive side of Superman that obviously the TV shows always portray. And that was great to see. I actually thought Ben Affleck was pretty bad. I mean, as Batman, he can do a good job when he's given good material, but the material he was given was not great. We were supposed to get a lot of Flash backstory and Cyborg backstory and a little more Aquaman and Wonder Woman, but it was cut. The movie is plagued with exposition and it's terrible. The plot is terrible also. Batman finds out about the mother boxes in the dumbest way possible, and it's full of all these coincidences, like, randomly 3 mother boxes appear in like a mural where Aquaman is. Like, come on, movie. It's just bad. Superman's return is really just not great at all either. It's, I don't know, man. It was really disappointing because it just didn't feel grandiose. It just felt kind of, he's back. No black suit either. That was also very disappointing. The best part of the movie had to be either the very beginning, the very end. And by very beginning, I mean like right up until the end of the Wonder Woman scene where she's beating up the criminals. And by the very end, I mean when they defeat Steppenwolf, like that very end. When Clark is talking to Bruce and Clark is like, hey, how'd you get the house back? And he's like, I bought the bank. Like, that was great. Like, that was good, Like, that is good. And that's the Justice League I want to see. Like, interacting, not being so goddamn serious all the time. But then again, not breaking the serious tone and making like a terrible joke. But what Justice League does is that every single line that Flash says is a joke. Every single line. I'm not even joking. Like, when he leaves the prison talking to his dad, every single line that Barry says is a joke. Can I keep this batarang? Stop right there, I'm in. I hate brunch. What's your superpowers again? Is this a bad time to mention my high blood pressure or sugar pressure? Something, it's so dumb. Like, what is this? Like, it was awful.
Yeah, I do competitive ice dancing. That feels like an oversimplification. Stop right there. I'm in. I need friends.
Okay. So then, there must be a nice thing about it.
Okay, yeah, here's the thing. See, I'm afraid of bugs and guns and obnoxiously tall people. Full transparency, I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away.
I never want to see that Flash again. And if Flashpoint does come out, I might not see it because this movie actually really disappointed me. And that's actually really tough to say because I love DC Comics. Doomsday Clock. Oof, that's exciting. I mean, the comics. DC Comics is killing it right now. It's killing it. It really is. Marvel Comics is awful right now. And DC Comics is doing a fantastic job, but in the movies, it's like, what are you doing? It's a mess. And again, I blame Warner Brothers because they've cut so much from this movie. They've really, honestly, just destroyed this movie. Zack Snyder is not my favorite director, but he has a tone, and he has a vision, and he put it out there in Batman v Superman, and it was okay. The movie wasn't great, but the vision is there. And Justice League, its tonal changes absolutely kill it. It kills the movie. It honestly does. Flash actually does nothing in the movie. Aquaman does nothing in the movie. There's no scene that I'm like, yeah, Aquaman was definitely needed for this. Flash was definitely needed for this. The only character that was honestly really needed was Cyborg. And Cyborg was a pretty good character. Like, right at the end, you needed Cyborg, you needed Superman. Those are the only 2 characters. And Batman and Wonder Woman unite the League. But other than those 2 little scenes in the movie, like Flash saving people and Aquaman, stopping the water from overflowing and killing all his friends, they weren't needed in the movie. And it's like, why are they there? It's almost like the Suicide Squad problem. Like, there's so many characters, but were they really necessary? Like, they're there just to do one thing. And that's incredibly infuriating, because as fans of these characters, they can do so much more. They could have taken out Steppenwolf on their own, to be honest, and Superman comes out like this, just whoa, and he just destroys Steppenwolf, and it's like, why was the League even needed? Couldn't they just have revived Superman and been like, Superman, we need you, oh, okay, and he stops the whole problem himself, and and honestly, even though Superman is freaking fantastic in this movie, he makes the League look incompetent. I really prefer Batman v Superman in this movie, I really do, and that movie's not great. I mean, I hate on it, but it's just me being tough on it because I want the next movie to be better. And Justice League was not better. It was bad. Will DC recover from this? I don't know, because COCO just beat it at the box office. And, you know, when Crisis on Earth X from the CW looks more competently made than Justice League, you know there's a problem. But yeah, blame Warner Brothers. It's their fault. Don't blame Joss Whedon. He's a great director. I'm not even joking. Like, he's good. He's fine. It's not his fault. You know? It's studio interference. That's the biggest problem that Justice League has. And yeah, thanks for coming to the table, and I'll see you all next time.